Hello, good morning. Our lesson for today is all about software architecture, lesson 4. What ano nga ba ang software architecture? Software architecture is a structured framework used to conceptualize and organize software elements, their relationships and properties. It serves as a blueprint that guides the development process, facilitates communication among stakeholders, and document high-level design decisions. Ano nga ba ang blueprint? What is a blueprint? A blueprint is a plan or design which describes how a product should be made. It shows the measurements, dimensions, and materials. In the past, blueprints were drawn by hand on special blue paper. Today, many blueprints are made on a computer using a special program called CAD or Computer Aided Drafting. So, ang super architecture, ang pangunahing goal nito ay para mapadali ang pag-manage ng isang complex na system. Ginagawa ito sa pamamagitan ng pag-group ng mga related na bagay, abstraction, or paghiwa-hiwalay ng mga responsibilities or separation of concerns para mas madaling intindihin at ayusin ang system. Software architecture, it involves defining and structuring solutions to meet technical and operational requirements, optimizing key attributes such as security, performance, and manageability. So, ang mga desisyon na ito ay malaking epekto sa kalidad at takbo ng system. At a high level, software architecture consists of various elements, their relationships and properties acting as a plan similar to building architecture. So basically, software architecture is like a big plan that shows different parts of the system, how they connect, and what features they have. It's similar to how building design show the rooms, walls, and structure of a building. So, sabi dito, making fundamental structures choices, such as selecting programming languages for speed or implementing redundancy for reliability. It's critical because these decisions are costly to change later. So, making basic choices like picking a programming language to make the system faster or adding backup systems to make it more reliable is very important. These decisions are hard and expensive to change later, so you need to think carefully before deciding. So sabi dito, documentation of the architecture helps in capturing early decisions and promote reuse of design components across multiple projects. So sabi yan, writing down the architecture helps keep track of important early decisions and make it easier to reuse parts of the design in future projects. So, they said to describe and analyze software architecture para mas maintindihan at ma-describe ng maayos ang architecture. Madalas gumagamit ang mga kumpanya ng special languages na tinatawag na architecture description languages tulad ng or ADLS. So, sabi dito, kadalasan kasama dito ang mga parts tulad ng connectors, how parts communicate, components, mga building blocks, at how everything is arranged or configurations. Architecture styles. So, large enterprise scale systems are designed through proper selection and designing of an architecture with functionality and characteristics that will suit the needs and wants of the client. Thus, it is crucial to have understood and applied the concepts of architecture before making the design. So, big system for companies are built by carefully choosing and designing an architecture that has the right features to meet what the client needs and wants. Because of this, it's very important to understand and use the right architecture concepts before starting the design. Ano nga ba ang architectural pattern? So according to Taylor et al., architectural pattern is a general, reusable solution to a commonly occurring problem in software architecture within a given context. Architectural patterns are similar to software design pattern but a broader scope. So what Taylor means is that an architectural pattern is a general solutions that can be used over and over again to solve common problems in building software systems, especially within a specific situations or environment. It's similar to a design pattern but broader in scope, meaning it applies to the overall structure or big picture of the system, not just small parts. So we have 10 pattern according to Taylor et al. So the first pattern is a layered pattern. This pattern is used in structuring specific programs that can be divided into groups of subtasks wherein each subtask has its own abstractions producing layers. Each layer would have a set of services related to the next layer such as the following. This is the example of layered pattern, web application with presentation, business logic, and data access layers. So these patterns organizes the system into hierarchical layers, each with a specific responsibility. The presentation layer handles use interactions, the business logic layer process data and rules, and the data access layer manage database database operations. Communication typically occurs only between adjacent layers, promoting modularity and ease of maintenance. So the second pattern is the client server pattern. This pattern involves a server which will provide the services to multiple client components and the clients which request the services from the server. Communication between the server and the client is established. This pattern is usually used in online applications such as email, document sharing, and banking. So we have example of client server pattern. We have web browsers or clients requesting web pages from web servers. So sabi dito, clients send requests to servers which process these requests and respond with the necessary data or services. This pattern enables centralized data management and resource sharing, allowing multiple clients to interact with the server or over a network. So the third pattern is master slave pattern. This pattern is used through distribution of work by the master component among similar slave components wherein the final results come from the results of the slave components. This is usually used to replicate databases wherein the master database is the authoritative source and slave databases are synchronized in it and in connecting peripherals to a computer-based systems. So we have also example of master-slave pattern. Distributed database replication where the master node handles write operations and slave nodes handle read operations. So sabi dito, a master node controls the system, executing primary tasks while slave nodes perform subordinate or backup tasks. This setup improves performance, tolerance, and load balancing, especially in distributed system. So we have pipe filter pattern. This pattern is used in system that produces and process data wherein each process is contained in a filter component with pipes where data is passed through. These pipes can be used for buffering, or for synchronization purposes. It is commonly used in compilers where filters perform lexical analysis, parsing, semantic analysis, and code generation and workflows. So we have also example of pipe, filter, pattern. The example is the data processing pipelines like Unix command pipelines. Example is cat file, grep error, or sort. So, na-use na natin yan dati. So, sabi dito, ah, data flows through a sequence of processing steps, or the filters, connected via pipes. Each filter processes input data and passes the output to the next, allowing flexible composition of data transformation. So, ito yung mga new file, yun, makikita natin, nagamit na natin yan dati sa kay Sir Rich, yun. Na-i-explain niya na, at nagamit na natin yan sa, uh, ano ang tawag dito? Sa coding natin, nagamit na natin yan sa coding. So the P pattern is a broker pattern. This pattern uses decoupled, decoupled components that interact with each other through remote service invocation. The interaction between components is done with the use of a broker component. Servers provide requested services of a client to a broker which redirects these services to the client. It is commonly used in message broker software such as Apache, ActiveMQ, Apache Kafka, RabbitMQ, and JBoss messaging. So kung narinig nyo na itong mga Apache na to, yun. So we have example also. Enterprise Service Bus or ESB, facilitating communication between different services in a distributed system. So dito, ang broker mediates communication between clients and services, managing message routing transformations and delivery. This pattern decouples components, enabling scalable and flexible integrations as you can see naman sa example niya, yung enterprise service process, siya yung communicate between sa mga applications. So, we have peer-to-peer pattern. This pattern use peers which are components that may function as a client or a server or as both, changing its role anytime. It is usually used in file sharing networks such as Genotella and G2 and multiple multimedia protocols such as P2B, TB, and PTB. So we have example also. Example of peer-to-peer pattern is a file sharing networks like BitTorrent. So sabi dito, BitTorrent, all nodes or peers have equal roles and can act as both clients and servers, sharing resources directly with each other without a central server. This pattern supports distributed resource sharing and robustness. So yung makikita nyo naman sa may example niya, pwede siyang maging client and pwede siyang maging server. So the seventh pattern is an event bus pattern. This pattern involves four major components commonly known as events: event source, event listener, channel, and event bus, which delivers messages from sources to specific channels. Listeners subscribe to these channels and are notified through messages. It is commonly used in development of Android and notification services. So we have example. Event-driven architectures like GUI applications or message buses such as RabbitMQ. So sabi dito, components communicate asynchronously via events broadcasted on a bus. Subscribers listen for specific events and react accordingly, enabling loose coupling and dynamic interactions. So sa makikita nyo sa example ko, yung event broker, siya yung magpapas through portal, loyalty, payments, credits, marketing, analytics, logistics, and ERP. Siya yung talagang pinakang nagdi-drive or nagdi-driven sa isang lahat ng apps na yan. So, we have a model view controller pattern. This pattern, which is also known as MVC pattern, consists of three parts. Model, which contains the core functionality and data. View, which displays the information, and controller, which handles the input. So sabi, yung model daw ay nagko-contain ng kanyang functionality and data. Yung view naman niya ay nagdi-display ng isang information, and the last is the controller. So siya naman yung nag-handles ng input. This division is done to decouple component and allow the efficient reuse of codes where the information is represented separately in each process. This is usually used in architecture for World Wide Web applications, in major programming languages, and web frameworks such as Django and Rails. So the example of model view controller, web frameworks like Ruby on Rails or ASP.NET MVC. So this is the model, right? So sabi dito, manage data and business logic. View handles user interface controller. Sabi yan dyan, oh. Yan yung makita yung Python, Ruby on Air, ASP.NET. So, yun. So, sabi yung controller naman, process user input, interacts. Yun, as I said earlier, model, view, and controller. So, yun. The 9 blackboard pattern. This pattern is designed to tackle problems that lack existing solution by utilizing a shared structured global memory called the blackboard, which holds objects from the solution space. It involves three main components: the blackboard itself, knowledge source that specialize in their own representations, in and a control component responsible for selecting, configuring, and executing these modules. All components have access to the blackboard, where they can add new data or retrieve existing data by matching pattern with their knowledge sources. This approach is commonly applied in areas like speech recognition, vehicle identification and tracking, protein structures analysis, and sonar signal interpretation. So, ang pinakang example niyan is speech recognition system where multiple modules contribute hypotheses to a shared knowledge base. So, yan, automatic speech recognition. So, sabi dito, components communication via common blackboard or global data store. Different modules add or read data collaboration to solve complex problems, often used in AI and problem-solving systems. As you can see, the example is automatic speech recognition. Ito yung blackboard pattern. So the last but not the least, interpreter pattern. Ano nga ba ang interpreter pattern? This pattern involves evaluation of lines of program known as sentences, or expression in a specific language where each symbol of the language is classified into classes. It is commonly used to design components that involves interpretation of a specific language such as database, query, languages, and communication protocols. So we have example of interpreter pattern. This is SQL language interpreter within a database system. So yan, dito na natin magagamit yung mga pag-i-encode. So, the sabi dito defines a grammatical representation for a language and an interpreter that uses this representation to evaluate sentences in the language. It is tool for designing languages, scripting, or parsing commands. Ito na yung mga coding-coding na sinasabi nila. So, 4 plus 1 is a view model designed by Philippe Crutzen describing the architecture of software-intensive systems based on the use of multiple concurrent views. So, sinabi ni Felipe Cruchen, ang 4 plus 1 view model is a way to describe the architecture of complex software systems by looking at them from different angles or perspectives. He means that to fully understand and design a system, you need to look at it in multiple ways at the same time, like different views or pictures, each showing a different part of the system, such as how it works, how it builds, or how users see it. The 4 plus 1 refers to four main views: the logical view, the process view, the development view, and the physical view. So, plus one scenario or use case view that ties everything together. So, the logical view is the end user. This view pertains to the functionality of the system that is provided to the end users. So the logical view is primary concern with specifying the functional requirements of a system and modeling its conceptual design. It captures the system's domain, concepts, the relationships, and behavioral semantics without being tied to specific technologies, frameworks, or deployment platforms. This abstraction allows architects and developers to understand the problem domain and design solutions that are independent of implementation decisions. So we have the process view. The process view is integrator. It's integrator. This view pertains to how the system works, specifically the process, communication, and behavior. It addresses concurrency, distribution, integrators, performance, and scalability, etc. through UML diagrams known as activity diagrams. So, the development view as a programmer and software manager. So, this view, which is also known as implementation view, pertains to the perspective of a programmer specifically on the management of the software. It defines system components through UML component diagram known as a package diagram. So the physical view as a system engineer. This view, which is also known as deployment view, pertains to the perspective of a system engineer, particularly on the topology of software components, physical layer, and connections between them. It is represented by UML diagrams known as deployment diagram. The last is the plus one view model is the scenarios. This view, which is also known as use case views, involves describing sequences of interaction between objects and processes using small set of use cases or scenario. It is used to identify the elements, define and validate the design which server is a starting point for the architecture prototype. So, our conclusion: software architecture is a crucial foundation for building effective and reliable software systems. It involves making important decisions about structure, components, and patterns that meet both technical and user needs. Understanding different views and concepts helps designers create flexible, scalable, and maintainable systems. Proper architecture planning ensures that the system can adapt to changing requirements and perform well in real world use. So, thank you so much. Sana may naintindihan po tayo sa lesson na ito. Bye!